let the children cry. Don't let the children cry. Situations in my country sometimes they make tears drop from my eyes. Ooh. If you like, you call me a preacher man, preacher man. Shana, me and you, they suffer. Why do our children who are leaders of tomorrow end up as abused children? Yeah.
Hi. I got into University of Nigeria, UNN. Happy as an undergraduate, like everybody. Joined the school and the university environment. Everything was going well. Got into my department. And then I met the man, my lecturer.
Hi, good evening. I was a fresher, really got admission, got into school. I was really happy. It was more like a dream come true for me because who wouldn't be happy if they got admission to the desired school of their choice and then they're studying the desired course of their choice. So it was a very big deal for me. So I got into school, resumed classes. I was as casual as I could be, my normal self, jovial, happy, relating well, mingling with everybody, making new friends. So one day I was doing my thing, having my phone, and then this lecturer walked up to me and was like, he liked my vibe, he liked my attitude, that if I wouldn't mind if we became friends. Well, I didn't really see anything wrong in that. At least friends, like having a friend as a lecturer would be very handy because you don't know where he could come in handy for you. Not necessarily like the negative side, like positive side, explain things I don't understand, put me through some things I am new to, all those kind of things. So I didn't find it as anything wrong. I accepted, and then things kept on going, like everything has been going.
It started off with him always picking on me, asking me questions in class, seizing my phone. I didn't take it as anything. I took it as normal lecturer, students, wahala. Till one very good day, I was asked to see him in his office to check my results, and he told me I failed the course. I was shocked because I wasn't expecting it. But then he said he was going to help me change the score to an A. I was reluctant at first because I thought he was lying and all. So weeks passed, and then it was time for me to sign attendance. He sells a book and he asked me to buy, and then the whole me being his favorite and his wife, he said I was going to buy it twice the amount. I did agree because I felt it was uncalled for and necessary. But still, he was serious.
Sometimes he would even call me out to go out with him to the club, and I found it weird because it's not something I would be expecting, and then coupled with the fact that I'm not the clubbing kind of person, and obviously whenever you go to club you're expected to drink and do some very outdoor things which are new to me, which are things things I don't do, more like things I'm not used to, most especially the drinking. I don't have the head to carry alcohol. So I refused. Then one fateful day, I was going home. I was on my way home, and then he saw me along the road and offered to give me a lift. So, being familiar with this person, I accepted. I got into the car, and then while he was driving, he began to touch my laps. I felt so uncomfortable. I removed his hand, and then he touched my laps again. I could not understand what was going on. I couldn't really understand why he was doing what he was doing. But then I removed his hand. Then he touched my laps again. And this time around, he started moving towards my private areas, and God, I was so pissed. And then I flung his hand away in a very aggressive manner. So after doing this, he abruptly stopped the car and then asked me to get out of his car. I did. I left.
Sexual harassment is a menace that all of us must join hands to fight. It has been elaborately defined by Professor Ofefla, the keynote speaker. And just to give a kind of summary of that definition and our working definition of this gender harassment, this sexual harassment in our university, it is, by loose definition, an act which a person intentionally, sexually relates, touches, gets near another person without the person's consent.
So it was time for me to sign my attendance. And then I was sick. I had migraine, serious one, which affected me badly. I couldn't see. Water was coming out of my eyes and all. So I took a particular amount to him, which he said was not what he wanted, threw the money on my face and asked me to leave his office. I called my friend and asked her to withdraw money and bring so I could complete the fee. But then I could not see, like I said, so somehow my mom called, and when I picked I was like, who is this? And my mom started shouting, why would I say who is this and all? And I told her what was wrong with me. I could not see, I'm sorry and all. And then she called my friend and asked her to come to my department. My friend, out of fear and everything, she came and saw what was happening. Out of anger, she entered the man's office rudely, threw the money on his table, told him that I wasn't feeling fine, that how would he do such a thing, and left. So we went to the medical center. I was given drugs and all. Next day in class, he called me and asked me what's up. Am I fine? Yes, I was. And then, when the results came out, when I went to check my results, I found out I got an A. So, the next semester, which was second semester, this was first year, first semester. So, my second semester, he called me again to his office. This time it was frequent. Every time I was always calling into his office. But I always oblige, I don't go, I always hide from him. Till one day I decided to go to his office. And then he said my name came out for people that were to repeat a course. I was shocked because I know I never did anything that was going to make me repeat the course. I asked him how and why. He said I am to repeat the course because I failed it. Let's not forget the 4-unit course. Okay, everything being fine. And then they pasted people's name that were to repeat the course. And my name came out. Seeing that my name was out already, he said he was going to help me take out my name. But then I was like, fine, I really don't want to come back for this course. I really don't want to stay during the holidays for this course and all. So let me just see what he has to do or what he can offer. So I called him and I was like, fine, what do you want for you to remove my name from the list? Then he wasn't picking my calls, he wasn't answering me. So one very good day after class, he called me to his car and started asking me questions which I didn't like. Questions like, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, no. And he asked again, and realizing where he was going to, I said yes. And he asked, are you a virgin? I didn't answer. And then he said, can you play? Me trying to act dumb and all, I was like, yes, I play. I play lots. I play Scrabble, I play What, I play Monopoly, I play everything. And he was like, no. Do you play?
And then the next day, I was in school. Then he sent for me. He asked me to send someone to call me to his office. So I went, and then in his office, he apologized for what he did the previous day. He kept on saying that he didn't really know what came over him at that point, and kept on giving me excuses for what he did. I said no problem. And before I left, he was like, I cannot just come into his office and then I'll just leave like that. So he offered me a drink. I refused. I was like, there is no need that I don't want to take the drink because I wasn't feeling like taking the drink. He actually insisted, and he was like, if I had forgiven him, that I would take the drink because as a sign of forgiveness. So left with no other option, I took the drink. And then when I took the drink, after some minutes, like a minute after, I started feeling somehow, started feeling drowsy, I started feeling weak. I tried as much as I could to stay awake, you know. I tried everything I could, but I was overpowered, and then I slept off.
Explain your play. And he was like, I will come to his house and we'll play. And while playing, after the play, I'll cook for him. And I was like, I don't cook for people, except I'm very close to you. I was not liking the conversation, I was not liking where it was heading, so I was trying to end it and just move on, go back to class, go back to like everywhere. But he was still on, can you play and all. And then he said, how about we meet? We just have a time, let's chill. I was like, let me give him the chilling part and all. I agreed. And this was when the semester was over. I didn't agree for him to take off my name. So my name was still on the whole people that were going to repeat the course. Because I I was 100% sure everybody had seen my name, so taking it off was going to be something. So I just had to like tell him that I don't want, so he should just leave my name there. And he was like, okay. So he asked us to chew, and I agreed. So one night around 7, he came to pick me from my lodge, and then he asked, where do you want us to go? My house or the hotel? At that point I was confused because I said, okay, if it's his house and anything happens, no one will come to my rescue. But if it's the hotel and I get to shout, at least I know people can come and something will happen and someone will save me, or whatever happens, people will know. So I agreed for me to go to the hotel. So we got to the hotel and he asked, what will I eat? What will I take? I told him pepper soup and Smirnoff Ice. He got me 2 bottles of Smirnoff Ice. I never asked for 2, I asked for 1. He got me 2 bottles of Smirnoff Ice and my pepper soup. I ate it, took my Smirnoff Ice, was remaining 1 bottle, and he was like, I should take it after I took the first one. And I was like, no, I don't think my head can carry it. And I was like, why not? I should take it. I decided to open it, but I wasn't taking it the way I took the first one. So I was sipping, I would drop, I would sip, I would drop. And that was when everything started.
Then I don't know how long I passed out, or I don't know how long I slept for. Then I woke up. I found that my clothes were rumpled. I felt some pains in my private area, and I really didn't know what to do. I was dumbfounded at that point because the lecturer in question was like, oh, so like, why that, am I okay? He acted like nothing had happened. He acted so cool, so and I just didn't know what to do. So I stood up and left. Ever since then, he stopped calling me, he stopped relating with me. Things went back to normal, like nothing had happened. But deep down within me, I knew something went wrong, because days after, I knew the pain I went through. I even had to go to the hospital to know if I was okay. I was going through pains in, like, it really wasn't a funny experience. It really wasn't a funny experience because I could not like say this was what happened. I could not like say, okay, this is what this man did or something. It was more like everything paused, but everything was happening when it was happening, and then I woke up after. So I really can't point any blaming finger because I don't have any evidence to like say, okay, this man did this thing to me, and that is why I am where I am today. So I'm just here.
Came to meet me on the bed, started rubbing my lap. I removed his hand. But at this point, I already knew what was going to happen. So I was trying my best to avoid it. But he already made up his mind that this is going to happen. Today is the day it will happen. So from rubbing my laps to rubbing my legs, I told him I can't do what he wants. He got angry. I was like, he can't bring me here and nothing will happen. For that, I would pay the hotel bills. And I told him no problem. How much is it? When he realized that money was not my problem at that point, he got angry. I was like, he helped me get an A in my course, and the second one, he's trying to help me, and I'm being stubborn and trying to do all. He was just shouting, but then at that point, I just wanted to leave. I was no longer comfortable. I was never comfortable in the first place, but I just wanted to leave. And then I started telling him I didn't want to. I wasn't necessary. I'm not interested. That was where the struggle started. He tried kissing me. He actually forced me, but then I pushed him. He pushed me back. He held me tight and pushed me to the bed, which was he overpowered me, and I was begging at this point because I thought he was going to have his way. And I was crying and I was begging that he should please. But I don't want this.
It's really painful that I have to go through such, and then there's no justice. And even if I try to go out there and say, okay, this is what I went through, what is that thing I have, or what is that thing I can say that this man did to me? Because I don't have an evidence to this. I was just a victim of circumstances, more like. So this is it. This is me. This is just me. Yeah.
It is no longer private when you have sexually harassed somebody. You say that you agreed with the person that it is private. It's not private. Sexual harassment in UNN cannot, and will not be private. We will investigate it to the core. Even if it's private, we'll bring that privacy out to public and discuss it and handle it. So the duty you owe us as participants in this campaign is to join us. To join us in the campaign. And you join us in two major ways. One is making effort, insisting that you will report any case or even a case you are suspecting. More so, a case that you have witnessed and you are sure. Report it.
I started begging. But he wasn't bothered. He just wanted to have his way. I think the struggle went on for 10 minutes or so. And then he stopped. Thinking that was where everything would end. This was past 12. Yeah, past 12. I was scared because I thought I had this feeling he would come back or so, and he started shouting again. I left and I went to the toilet to cry, clean my eyes, come back, like nothing happened. Came back and we struggled again. Mm. We struggled again, and after I realized that I wasn't going to allow him have sex with me, he stayed on his own. I couldn't sleep that night because I was scared that probably he'll rape me out of anger or nothing happened at the end. So in the morning when he dropped me off, he asked me to give me his number. I'm ready to fail the course, which I failed. So that's my story. Thinking about that, I know I don't deserve it. I deserve better. Like better. So that's my story.
The time has passed for people to be passive and indifferent to the plight of the women in our tertiary institutions.
Sitting on the fence or being a bystander is also complicity.
If you see something, say something. Do not be silent.
The University of Nigeria has zero tolerance for sexual harassment.
You can report any case of sexual violence to CCASH.
You can find us on every social media platform.
Yes, we can. Together, we can create a safe space
for women in our tertiary institutions.
Don't let the children cry. Don't let the children cry. Situations in my country sometimes they make tears drop from my eyes. Ooh. If you like, you call me a preacher man.